Well, Ruth, welcome back. You never quite know what you're going to follow, do you, when you do the weather?
I don't quite know how to follow that. I mean, there's an awful lot going on out there today, isn't there? And you might have noticed that there's a little bit of action going on across the pond as we speak. And I'm not talking about anything political, not a political storm, an actual storm developing. Incidentally, it's been the coldest inauguration since 1985, -2 in Washington at the moment, -20 in Minneapolis, and down across Miami in the far south. And the bottom of your screens, a positively tropical 20 degrees. But it's what's happening in the Gulf of Mexico, as I believe it's currently known, is quite important. You can see there's an awful lot of wet weather, and that's going to get whipped up into the Atlantic and driven on a very fast jet stream. You may have heard winds of 250 miles an hour. That's up in the jet stream. That's not going to affect us. But what that jet stream will do is pick up that area of low pressure, that wet weather that's building, and edge it in our direction. Could well be a named storm round about Thursday, Storm Aowyn, if it is named. We are talking about windy conditions. It's not going to be pleasant, but we've got a bit of weather to get through first. Here are the details. So to sum up, you might have guessed unsettled, disappointing and gloomy, with a bit of strong wind thrown into round about Thursday. So there you go.
Lots to keep up with, isn't there?
It's enough to keep me busy, yes.
You will keep us up to date, I know.
Well, it's not particularly pleasant out there at the moment, with more rain falling across northern areas in particular. It's been a very miserable start to the new week here, hasn't it? Elsewhere, though, we'll see some dry skies. The mist and murk will clear for some, and under clear skies, particularly more sheltered rural spots, there's a possibility of a touch of frost by the early hours of tomorrow morning too. So wherever you are, a chilly start to tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit frosty, with further rain falling across northern areas, parts of the Llŷn Peninsula, Gwynedd and Anglesey too. And it's here it is likely to remain confined. Elsewhere, though, we could actually see some brighter conditions, some very welcome sunshine after the gloom of the last few days. It's going to be fleeting, so very much a case of catch it if you can. Still got a gentle breeze, but much like recent days, the temperature's still struggling. In fact, if anything, feeling just a little bit fresher still, with highs in some spots of just 5 or 6 in Celsius. That's slightly below the average for the time of year. So not surprisingly, under clear skies through Tuesday night and into Wednesday, the temperatures will drop once again. Wednesday, though, is shaping up to be a pretty decent day across much of Wales, largely dry in northern areas too. But even with sunnier skies, the temperatures are going to scrape not much above 4 or 5 degrees. So really feeling the chill round about the middle of the week. And then all change. A very deep area of low pressure that I mentioned starts to show its hand. And by the time we wake to Thursday, yes, something slightly less cold, but we're looking at some very strong, potentially disruptive and damaging winds. The possibility of a named storm, but obviously we'll keep you posted on that nearer the time. Again, increasingly unsettled by Friday, with some rather unsettled weather on the way for the coming weekend too. All very disappointing.